Welcome back to the What Life guys. So we are again turning up to Berkshire Gregarios fight night, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. now. I wasn't going to do this because I ran a 100-miler on Saturday. It's Tuesday night, but the weather is so nice and I've missed the sunshine so much. I'm going to join in and try and hold the middle group. Guys, let's get it. Let's see how this goes. Fight night. So we're going to see how the legs feel, but what I want to do tonight is, and look, I don't want to turn up to a new group and be the guy that starts like barking orders and shouting stuff, but what I would like to try and do is see whether we can get the rotations a little bit quicker. Just politely ask, like, hey guys, who wants to do like 20-30 second rotations? Try and see whether we could actually, with a bit of communication, get things dialed in. I don't want this to come across the wrong way because I'm not here to turn up to a club group that is established and start yapping, but you know, just hey guys, who fancies 20-30 second pulls, and we'll see how that goes and see whether we can improve on our time from last week. As a side note, the legs are not feeling too horrible. My feet don't love being in cycling shoes because of all the running on the 100-miler. I will be dropping the 100-miler video at some point this week, and I'm looking forward to sharing that story, but damn, like running 100 miles is so hard. I don't know how to compare it to cycling because I don't know what in the cycling world is like an equivalent. I'm not sure if you guys have an idea of what an equivalent is for running 100 miles in the cycling world. Hit me up, let me know, because I did the Mallorca 312. I mean, that really hurt, the body hurt, but you can still walk and get a pizza afterwards and sit down and have a laugh. I don't want to spoil it, but it completely destroyed my body. But I'm really looking forward to joining the chain gang guys again, which is fun because last week I was anxious about it. This week I'm not anxious at all. The first time was a little bit like nervous. Now I'm like, cool, I get to go and cycle with the boys. And I suggest everyone goes out and just puts themselves out there a little bit. A few extra people this week, so we are going to do 4 groups, which means 4 pace groups. Hopefully we get groups of 6 to 8 and hold it together. So we're off 4 groups this evening because there are so many people. Just an easy kick out of Windsor first up. Hello Marden. Hey. Then we get onto the back country roads and we can really start trying to work in some through and offs. The big difference this week is that it seems to be more of us. So last week we had a group of 8. I think we're almost like 11 now, which is getting on the, that's big. We definitely don't want to mix with or join one of the other groups later in the ride. So we'll see how that turns out. I'll go. But we also want to try and dial our skills in. Corner coming up.
It doesn't take long for us to find out exactly what happens when the 2 groups merge. I'm going to invite you guys to comment, but please do keep it constructive. Right, I'm 4th wheel here as the 3rd group overtakes us, and then Lammy, who is my 3rd wheel, pulls straight out and joins the back of their little crew. No problem. My second wheel, a little shoulder check, I think he's going to go as well. My first wheel does a proper shoulder check and then pulls out because he has done his turn. My now second wheel, or what is effectively first wheel, starts surging up, clearly kind of wanting to catch up with the group in front. I have a decision to make which isn't too hard, knowing that I don't really want to bring the two groups together, plus a few guys in our group basically just shouted and said don't do it. So there's a little surge in our group, but ultimately we do let the group in front go, and then to add to it, what was actually our first wheel in the first place decides that he's going to kick and join the group in front, and you can clearly see that they've got about 14-15 riders now, and we should be down to about 8. Good point to mention that we have Robbie McEwen, who is an ex-Tour de France pro rider, now at the front of our peloton as our 8-man crew sits behind what is their 14-man crew. I drift my way to the back of the 8-man crew that we now have, led by Robbie McEwen, and then look, there's the 14 riders up front trucking on.
So one of the other groups already passed us. It's turned into a bit of a, excuse my language, but shit show, because the third group has now got like 14 people in. 2 of our guys jumped to their group. Like, this is the section where we change from one road to another. It's hard because if we kept the 2 groups, we could both work and there'd be marginal difference. Just work a bit harder at the front. So it's made our group a bit smaller. So we're going to work a bit harder, be a bit more fun. We had too many people, it's too much rest. But this is the tough thing about club night, fight night. 2 groups that were too big. Sorry, I don't want to be negative. 2 groups that were the size that you have to really pay attention, I say, whilst GoProing in the back of a chain gang.
So I'm going to say that this ride was a lot of fun, and somehow, if you have been counting the riders in our little group, we've managed to pick someone else up. I just do not know where these people were coming from, how many people were in our group, but it was always changing throughout the night, and that's because we have the slowest group go fast and then they get progressively quicker. Here is a quick section on the fastest group overtaking us, and we were group 2. So fastest group is overtaking us. Somehow one of our riders, or a rider, gets caught like way up front, couple of cars, causes a bit of like a kerfuffle. Totally normal on a group ride. The important thing was always going to be that we kept the separation, and there goes the front group, and you can see that our guys get to see some hand signals from the boys, and then we eventually end up passing another guy who I think was in our group a minute ago, and then so he's going to dive back on, I hope, and that's about it. So we have the fastest group passing us. This is us now passing the slowest group. Guys, just to highlight, I am only showing you the key moments. There are tons of moments when we get onto like a good little rotation with the through and offs, and it's just not entertaining. But this is how this ride is ridden, and I love it.
More people just make it a little bit harder. So there's been less talking, but we found a rhythm and we're doing well. We're almost onto the super fast drift road section, which is straight and flat. All the groups have passed each other now, so the first group is now last, blah blah blah.
So for context, I want to do a bit more racing this year, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to use the last kind of couple of 100 meters of this ride as a bit of a chance to kind of attack the group. As again, you might be able to see, we've picked up a couple of riders. I think we even picked up someone that wasn't even on the ride in the first place, but lo and behold, that's the way these things went. So I decided that from my position back at the back of the group that I was just going to put the watts down. I stay seated for this whole thing. I don't jump out the saddle and sprint at all. and I put down I try and put down 500, 600 watts seated for a couple of seconds, and then that drops to 400. Then I try and hold over 400 watts as we push through. I tried to throw the data on the screen, but Garmin Verb was not having it this evening. Anyway, it turns out I dragged a couple of the guys with me, and they decide that they're just going to put me to in my place as we come back into the final finish. But I thought it would be good to practice something like that.
That was fun. Different experience to last week. Every group basically caught every other group, which was good this week because every group passed each other group, and a few people changed groups as groups passed. So we ended up, I think at our low point we had about 7 or 8. Our top point we had like 13 or 14 riders. How was it? I saw you ditched us the first opportunity you got. Yeah. Absolutely no debrief needed this week. Another great ride with the Berkshire Gregario crew. Another fantastic ride, and there were at least 40 riders there this evening. So it goes to show that something like that caters for everyone. The group system is figuring itself out. We did 4 groups this week. Last week we had 3. It'll figure itself out. It's a lot of fun. Those guys are well organized. All credit to them for, on the cuff, sorting out who does what and well, and a few people moving from group to group. Just makes it interesting. It's a cool night. It's a fun night. Guys, Berkshire Gregarios, get yourself down there one evening. Check it out on Strava. Google it, find it on Strava, grab the GPX, and I'll see you there.